This is the show where two friends from different parts of the world discuss all things, all elite wrestling. And one of them actually knows what they're talking about. We'll let you decide. Welcome to the Beauty and the Beard Pro Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Woody and Sarah.
This is your AEW Dynamite review for June 18th, 2021, a special Friday night edition of Dynamite, and fingers crossed, the last Friday episode, as AEW will be back live next Saturday, and then back, thank God, back on Wednesdays.
We get our weekends back.
Exactly. We can get back to a regular schedule.
I can have movie nights again.
We can get away from these weekend recordings that just throw a wrench in all kinds of plans. Yes. So that being said, tonight's show had some interesting matches, some interesting segments.
To quote Simon Miller, ups and downs.
Ups and downs, yes. But it also had a few awesome match announcements.
Yes.
So we've got a good bit to talk about tonight. So, Sarah.
Yes.
Are you ready to talk some Dynamite?
I am. Let's go.
All right. Dynamite kicked off with what was easily the most hyped match of the night. It was an intriguing clash between two behemoths from both the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle, as Wardlow faced Jake Hager in an MMA rules cage match. And they had this set up and treated, just like an MMA or UFC fight. A lot of the talk going into this was how would they legitimately have Hager lose this match, considering he is an actual Bellator competitor?
Yeah.
And he's undefeated. So could Wardlow actually go over in this style of match? Those questions were answered in the second round of the contest when Jake Hager had Wardlow in a triangle chokehold, and ref Aubrey Edwards stopped the match due to Wardlow blacking out. So after the match, once Wardlow had gotten to his feet, it looked like both men were going to actually shake hands. Mm-hmm. But before they could, Shawn Spears attacked Hager. Then that brought Jericho in. And then that brought MJF out of the back, where he then tried to do more damage to Jericho's arm until Dean Malenko broke it up and got punched in the face for his trouble by Maxwell. And as JR said, MJF just hit a 60-year-old man with Parkinson's disease. That, ladies and gentlemen, is MJF. That's
a sentence I never thought I'd hear in wrestling in my life.
I know. What a line. So then Sammy Guevara ran out of the back to clear the ring, or the octagon, the cage, to make the save for his fallen Inner Circle members. What did you think about this whole match and the aftermath?
I genuinely loved the match. I don't know if that's now like, maybe I should watch some MMA, because I was genuinely like, oh, this is so good. Like, I don't know how close to realism that was or not, because I have never seen MMA. But if it's anything like that, then I probably would enjoy it. Probably because of the violence, let's be honest. As you know. I like violence. I like violence.
There you go.
So so I enjoyed it really, and like, to be honest with you, I was like, maybe they're just gonna let Hager lose, but like how? And then like you saw like them things from Wardlow, and I was just like, he can move, like for a big guy, he can move. And he did his hair all in a plait, which I thought was, look a bit like a Viking. And then like that Superman punch where he like jumped on from the side of the cage.
Off the cage.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he's so good. I love this. This is really good fun, actually.
I was kind of mixed. I enjoyed it. Now I have watched, I'm not a fan of MMA or UFC, anything like that, really. I've watched enough of it to know what it looks like, how the matches go and all that. But so watching this was kind of, since I am somewhat familiar, I've watched enough UFC fights or MMA fights to see what it's supposed to look like. This did, like, if you were watching it in the background and weren't watching it real closely,
Yeah.
I think you would go, man, this is an actual MMA fight that's going on,
Right.
not a
Okay.
wrestling match, because it
Okay.
looked enough like it.
Yeah,
But if you,
I've never seen one, but I was
yeah,
just like, if this is what it's like, maybe watch
yeah,
it.
and it's one of those things like, but watching it closely, where you can tell,
Yeah.
yeah, you really can tell. Okay, this is okay. They're acting like
Yeah.
but they did it well enough to where I think it worked for what it was. But it's one of those things like I don't like I'm not a UFC fan, so or like an MMA fan, so I wasn't really as crazy about the MMA style fight. Although I think it
Mm.
worked for the story, it fit because Hager that's what he does, so it fits. If an actual MMA fan watched this, they're probably laughing.
Mm.
So you're watching it going, okay, yeah, it's you're caught in between, where it's supposed to look real, but some of the moves would have ended the match, didn't actually end the match. So
Yeah.
overall, though, I thought they did a good job of mixing in the wrestling part of it, because they
Yeah.
mixed enough wrestling stuff into this fight to keep it wrestling, but also made it feel like a good simulated fight. So it was fun to watch, but it's still one of those things where I was torn a little bit on. I'm looking at how wrestling fans, do they really want to see an MMA fight, and MMA fans, do they really want to see wrestlers pretending like they're MMA fighting? I thought
Yeah.
it was, but I thought it was fun enough, and it fit the story though. It fit the story because again, Hager is a fighter. So, but I think the right guy went over in this, because I don't think
Yeah.
you could legitimately have, and in the end too, it didn't make Wardlow look bad because Wardlow never tapped. The
Flat
ref
out.
had to stop the match. So it still kept him strong. And I did think it was interesting how Wardlow looked like he was about to shake Hager's hand before everything fell apart. So
Yeah.
that was an
Yeah.
interesting little nugget. They're going to leave you thinking, was he going to shake his hand? Was he not? Was he cool with Sean Spears running in, or was he kind of upset that Sean Spears ran in to start that whole fiasco at the end? So
Yeah. And like with like the whole MJF and Sammy thing, like we said, we thought like this was, Sammy and MJF maybe a thing down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So if they start
Mm-hmm.
it now, you've got something to run back.
And
But yeah, MJF just to get more heat.
oh Lord,
Just
yes,
my
man,
goodness.
punching a 60-year-old man with Parkinson's disease.
What is he
Man,
like?
he's just a little git, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a little kid.
Okay. All right. So next, we got a promo from the Elite Hunter, Frankie Kazarian, Eddie Kingston, and Penta. And in this, Frankie was quoting scripture, but wants revenge. Kingston encouraged the Bucks and company to pray because he thinks they're going to need it. And as always, Penta has no fear. What do you think about this promo?
Oh, I just love Frankie Kazarian right now.
I know he is.
Seriously, just I think where he's found this is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I like them as a little group right now, as a makeshift group. I would like to think as Frankie Kazarian is somebody who's basically gonna align himself with whoever's facing the Elite. So in a couple of weeks, if somebody else is feuding with the Elite, Frankie Kazarian, I feel like, is always going to be that guy who is in that person's corner, who's facing the Elite. I think that's kind of a nice story for him to keep telling. Is just his mission is not championships or anything necessarily right now. It's just to try to cause havoc within the Elite, and I think that's a cool story to tell.
I just love how the fact that you could bring, I know he's not now, but you could just see Mox coming into this. Like when he comes back, if it's still going on then, or if this is just a filler until he comes back. But you can genuinely just imagine them doing another match with Frankie Kazarian, and that's when Mox returns as a backup thing for him. But just give me Eddie Kingston every week.
Yeah.
I cannot get enough of the guy.
He's good. He is good.
He is really good.
All right. Then we saw more cracks begin to form in Team Taz. As we found out a few things, Taz is tired of Starks and Brian Cage bickering and wants Ricky to fix it. Powerhouse Hobbs is not happy that he was left alone with Hangman and 10 last week. And finally, Taz laid out another challenge to Adam Page. He wants to see Hangman one-on-one with Powerhouse Hobbs on the Saturday night edition of Dynamite.
I mean, so do I, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
This was just Ricky Starks is just generally like becoming that child that just doesn't get his own way. Just like constantly just like being in the mood and like pouting. It's not going the way he wants it. My husband watched this bit with me, and when they finished, he went, "Why did that other guy not say anything? He was just like looking dead tough." I was like, "That's Taz's son." And he's like, "That doesn't answer the question."
But why did he not say anything?
But why did he not say anything? I was like, because he's training. He just stands there looking moody. But yeah, I think Hook's getting tips from Ricky, like on how just to be like in a mood constantly.
Yeah. But it is great that Ricky it just keeps staying in this mood that you're talking about. But you can see from his point of view, though, he thinks he's doing the right thing. Dude, that's what I was supposed to do. I was trying to help Brian Cage last week, throwing him the title belt.
Stop picking on me, Dad.
And everybody's mad at me. I'm trying to do the right thing. Brian Cage is the one you should be mad at, right?
Where is he, by the way?
I know. His absence kind of sent a message, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. You know how we'll find out?
Cracks. How?
Keep watching Dynamite. Keep watching
Dynamite, baby.
All right. So next, Darby Allin faced the Man of the Year, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, in a handicap match, as Darby has asked Sting to stay at home and let him handle this on his own. And Sting did just that. Darby was on his own tonight.
Oh God, he was.
And Darby held. Yeah, but he also held his own in this match. Just like we saw throughout his TNT title run, the Enigma manages to survive several beatings in those matches, and he managed that tonight also against this duo, even getting himself in a position to win the match.
Yeah.
But the numbers game was just too much. In the end, Ethan Page connected with the Ego's Edge and defeated Darby with the 1-2-3. So what did you think of this match, and were you surprised that absolutely no one showed up to help him?
I was actually genuinely surprised because, like we said, we thought Lance Archer would come out. I
thought for sure.
Yeah, I was literally there going, where is he? Where is he? Is he not? Is he stuck again? Is he like just lost Jake in the back? I just was like, where is he? Save him! And like, I genuinely, partway through this match, went, he's already dead. Leave him alone. Stop it.
Yeah.
But did we see some heel tendency from Darby Allin where he zip tied Ethan Page's feet together?
That was it's one of those. Yeah.
Because we've said, like, when he starts getting frustrated, he starts leaning a bit towards a bit of like heel tendencies. And he obviously was so getting frustrated.
Yeah, because it's like a gray area. It's like frustration, heel maybe, but it's also kind of like survival. Like, I got to do what I got to do to try to win this match because it's 2-on-1. So,
and that's what you get in AEW. You get faces, but they've all like I said, everybody's got a dark, twisty side.
Yeah,
it's just when does it come out? Is when obviously you're pure. I wear it on my sleeve, my dark, twisty side.
Got the halo. I got the halo.
I ain't got no halo. It fell off.
You ripped it off.
Yeah, definitely. But like, it's just like, because if you have that frustration and you're not getting your way, but you're the good guy, so the good guy tactics aren't working. Maybe if you try the bad guy tactics, you may get results.
Exactly.
Which I think if he had have won with that tactic, that may have pushed him a bit more heel.
Yeah.
Because like he's then seen like, oh well, like I try and like do everything, in quotes, by the book. But I never get anywhere. But I like just kind of like, messed up a bit and I succeeded. But then also I think he's going to get kind of maybe a bit of grilling from Sting. Like, why you don't need to do that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he may get kind of like a bit of a mentorship from Sting. And that might be, I'm not saying we will, but that could be where cracks in that relationship start.
Yeah.
Because look how long it's taken for Taz and his group of cronies to get to this point where they're genuinely like on the edge of nothing.
And they've been bickering forever, it feels like. Just
like since last year.
Yeah. But I could see Sting delivering a line like, you know, where he could just say, like, I never use zip ties. But it's just like that small comment where it's not, did he mean like that's a good idea? Or did he mean I've wrestled my entire career and look what I've done without using stuff like that? You could do it that way where it plants that seed. Do
you know how I would do that as well for like that kind of situation to come in? It's like you could have like, say, Alex Marvez or something, find Sting in the back going, oh, can we just talk to you about, you know, Darby Allin's match? And he goes, well, actually, I'm just going to go speak to him now. So, you know, and just like walk off, and then they could follow him, but like kind of get it kind of like where the wrestlers don't see the cameras, but we know the cameras are secretly filming. And you could have it like that, where you're like inside information type. And that'd be quite a cool way of doing it.
But it's not the invisible camera. It's literally like a hidden camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
And like when I vision that, I like vision like Darby Allin eating a salad or something, and Sting coming up to him like going, zip ties. Never thought of that. And like Darby Allin getting frustrated at that comment and just like throwing his salad across the floor. But maybe I'm going way too deep into this, but that is literally what was in my mind. I was just like, you could be like, a bit like Ricky Starks, but more Darby Allin way.
Wow. Sting, Darby Allin, zip tie conversation, and salad getting tossed.
Welcome to our podcast.
Oh,
you never know what you're going to get.
Nope. All right. Then we got...
Try and move on from that.
How do you segue from a zip-tied salad conversation? Well, sometimes you put oranges on salads. So...
Is that an American thing?
I think people put fruit on salads, right? I don't eat
oranges.
I don't eat fruit on my salad. Maybe
I would like some citrus with these leaves.
Hey, let me try this again. Hey, speaking of salads, some people put fruit on salads. Next, we have a fruit guy wrestling. His name's Orange Cassidy.
Smooth.
Okay. Then we got the interesting matchup of Orange Cassidy and Cesar Bononi as suddenly the wingmen seem to have an issue with our freshly squeezed babyface.
Not on a salad.
Just not on a salad. Let us know out there in the comments if you've ever had a citrus salad. It's citrus salad. I don't know. I may be making it up.
You could have a citrus fruit salad.
I'm never going to get away from this, am I?
Nope.
All right. So, yeah, Cassidy spent a lot of this match taking a pounding from Bononi and getting like a makeover attack on the outside by the wingmen. But eventually the best friends even the odds, and Cassidy grounded 3 of the wingmen with orange punches, including Cesar Bononi, and he picked up the victory. The best friends embraced afterwards, as Pretty Peter Avalon cried as he held an unconscious Bononi in the middle of the ring. So talk to me about this match and not about a citrus salad, Sarah.
Okay, if that's what you want. Look, this match is literally not my thing.
Yeah.
This is my problem with it, right? And I think I've mentioned this before.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy was just in a title picture, storyline, and match. 2 to 3 weeks later, he's being spray tanned during a match by Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth.
Yeah.
How in the heck have we gone from Kenny Omega Pac at Double or Nothing to that? I can't. It was funny to the point of, this is funny, but oh my goodness, why is this happening? it wasn't funny in a hilarious way. It was funny as in a, this is really weird. Because even like my husband was watching this bit as well, when that was the worst thing I've ever seen in wrestling. I was like, it's probably not the worst thing, but it's not great for AEW.
No.
Like, I just...
Well, first of all, it sounds like your husband's becoming a wrestling fan because I've heard you mention him watching a lot more wrestling recently.
But the thing is, though, it's because it's on a weekend.
I think he's sneaking in there though. He's
it's
like,
on a weekend.
Kind of digging it.
I normally watch it on a Thursday morning when he's away at work.
Yeah. That's right. That's true.
No choice.
That's a good point. I forgot. It's happened during these weekend Dynamites. You're right. Yeah.
Don't start making him worried that he enjoys wrestling all of a sudden.
Yeah, you're right. I was trying to give him some credit there. Nope, you're right. He has to watch
credit.
it.
No.
Okay. So, look, here's my thoughts with this. While I agree that it is weird having him in the title match, such a prominent match, and then in a program like this. Now, I thought this match was fun. It was like fun to watch as it was. Now, if you take a look at the big picture and where he just came from, I think had he not been in the title match and then he's in the program with these guys, it's probably easier to swallow than now because of what we just saw Orange Cassidy in. But if anybody that you could do this with and it not damage anybody, Orange Cassidy is that guy. Because in my opinion, anyways, I think you can have him in that world title match that we just saw, have him do some funny stuff with these guys, but win. He's not losing to these guys, but win. But it's because, hey, they wanted to try to pick on him. He handled business. Did what he had to do. Yeah, he did get spray tan and his hair made over or whatever, but he ended up like orange punching 3 of them in the middle of the match. He came out on the top side of this. So you could do some stuff like this now, and then if you put him back in a title match in 3 months, the fans are going to go crazy regardless. Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's that. I think some people, like if you, like say, took Pat from that title match and then started doing these goofy things with him, it would land even worse.
Yeah, 100%.
Orange Cassidy is that person. I think he's very versatile as far as a character, where you can do funny stuff with him 1 minute and flip the switch and have him be in a serious match and people would legitimately go, well, hang on, he may have a shot, especially down the road when they're fans. I don't think anybody thought he was going to win that match at Double Nothing just because of the scenario. I mean, we feel like we know where the world title is going, but I think down the road with fans present in TNT title matches and even in world title matches, I think people would legitimately think he still has a shot.
Yeah.
Even if he's doing something comedy 2 weeks beforehand. He's a very versatile character in my opinion. But again, yeah, I could see him in other programs than this that I would have enjoyed even more.
Yeah, and also like for me, the only, like I said, I'm not gonna completely dump on it because No. It was
I knew that's not what
fun,
you're doing.
Thing, but my only other thing with it is it's like obviously they've just announced the New York show.
Yeah.
And Orange Cassidy is in that with Tony Khan. So they're obviously thinking he's like a prominent guy. But then they do something like this. That's what's like, you can't, for me, you can't go, look, this guy like is a prominent guy. So what if somebody like tuned in going, all right then, this guy's in this like promotional video for it. I'll check it out and see what he's like. And then sees that. That's where my issue is with it. Because that's just like defeating the point of having him as like one of your front guys. Because no matter what you think, you've got like obviously Cody, Young Bucks, Kenny, probably Marks, Hangman, and Orange Cassidy's in that bracket, although not in the same bracket as wrestling, as in the type that he does, but he is one of like a way to get people into it, like laps people or kind of like, the younger, like young kids and stuff, because they can like kind of like enjoy it. But if you're then like just going to check him out and see, what's this AEW all about? And then see that match, you're going to go, well, it's basically what I always thought wrestling was. Do you know what I mean? Like a comedy thing. And that is literally my point with it, because I'm just like, if you saw him in that, if you said, all right, I'm going to show you him in the title match with Kenny and Pac, they would go, oh my God, he's amazing. This is the same guy a few weeks later, they're going to go, how?
Yeah.
That is where, like, my, like, not issue, but my thing with it is because it's, I don't think they can have both ways all the time. One time or another, they may have to choose which way they go.
Yeah, because it's a balancing act with him, because he does the funny stuff. He does really well, but you don't want to go so far. I agree. I think this match probably went too far into the comedy.
But it's like the stuff that he did with Kenny Omega at the Blood and Guts thing. That's comedy, but that's comedy that fits where he should be anyway. And I get he's like, the fun wrestler and he's with the best friends and all this, but he's a standout guy in that entire situation.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like he should be treated like that no matter what. You can do comedy stuff with him, but you can do it in a way that doesn't kind of diminish all of his other work that he's done.
Yeah.
That, like, look, I could be wrong, but that's just like,
No. Yeah, I totally get. I
went off in a tangent, but it really just like annoyed me a bit that.
The girl is defending Orange Cassidy out there. I don't think anybody's disagreeing with it. I think everybody's going to defend Orange Cassidy, except for Jim Cornette. But
exactly. But that's it. Another thing, like, don't give him the fuel.
Oh,
like, just,
but
man,
anyway, I ain't worried about folks. Folks out there are going to hate no matter what. I mean, they're really you just people like that. You should never have to worry about pleasing folks like that, because you're never going to please them. So
no, exactly.
They're always going to stay bitter. So stay bitter, and I'll just stay me. We'll be all good. So then Alex Marvez was in the back trying to get a word with Jungle Boy about his upcoming world title match with Kenny Omega next week. When who rolled up on a golf cart? Omega, Callis, and Knack. And Kenny wanted to fist fight Jungle Boy right then. Even giving Jungle Boy a free shot at the world champ. Put his hands behind his back and was going to give Jungle Boy a free shot. But it was just a setup, as Knack attacked from behind with his laptop. Kenny landed some blows, but Jungle Boy fought back, sending Kenny Omega and Callis retreating to the golf cart and speeding away, leaving poor Knack behind. So, what are your thoughts on this segment, ma'am?
I have two thoughts on this segment. Okay. One's bad, one's good. I get what Kenny Omega is doing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put that out there now.
Yeah.
I get what he's doing. The only thing about this that I literally was like toe curling was where he was like, I've got a knuckle sandwich, and I was like, oh my God, please don't bring back that phrase. Like, Kenny Omega, you're Kenny Omega.
Oh,
like, but you are Kenny Omega. What are you doing?
I like the knuckle sandwich line.
No.
It's so cheesy.
We're not in some 80s, early 90s comedy that's just like...
We're going to be split right here, because I'm a pro knuckle sandwich.
Or something. Oh. No. Like, you are Kenny Omega. You do not have to stoop to this level. Like, I get what you were doing. I understand
the way he said it too, though.
But please don't use that terminology ever again.
I can't remember how he worded it. He was like, you know what I got? What was it? He had packed for lunch or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I got a knuckle sandwich and another knuckle sandwich.
I was just like, I physically felt sick. I was like, no. Please never use them words again. Whatever you do, just don't use them words. But then I have to say, his general, the thing after it where he basically like baited Jungle Boy, whacked him on the back with the laptop. And then Jungle Boy goes for Kenny Omega, and Nakazawa's in the back going, don't do that to Kenny Omega! Don't do that to Kenny Omega! And I was just like, that's when I was laughing my head off. And then when Paul Mack tried to get into the golf cart, and Kenny Omega booted him back out, and Jungle Boy just started beating back on him. I was like, oh my God, you've done this to like Brandon Cutler, Paul Nakazawa. That's where I loved it. But do ever use the word knuckle sandwich again?
Oh, get off it.
No,
Come on.
no.
Y'all got to let us know where you stand in the comments on this.
Knuckle sandwich, yes or no?
Are you use the hashtag pro knuckle sandwich or anti knuckle sandwich?
I'll tell you what. With this, I'll put a poll out and you can all choose. Because that terminology should be left in the past.
I'm gonna try to pad this vote. I'm gonna tag everybody I know that's a Kenny Omega stan in this poll.
And I'll tag every sane person. Oh man, you're Kenny Omega. Like,
I love the delivery of the line. I thought that was great. Okay, all right. Let's move on before you give me
Disappointed.
Yeah. Next, we heard from the Hardy family office, or more specifically from Matt Hardy. Hardy claims he's going after Christian because of some broken agreement they had during the Casino Battle Royale at Double or Nothing that apparently only he was aware of. But Christian suddenly stormed in and was thrown into a cages area and locked in by the HFO. Hardy then offered to fund Christian's retirement if he would just step away from wrestling. But seeing as Christian was trying to get out and go after Matt, I assume he's not accepting the offer. What did you think of this Christian Cage in a rage, trapped in a cage, backstage segment?
Itch.
Yeah.
One, Alex Marvez was really busy tonight.
Yeah,
he was all over the place.
He was like Tony Schiavone. Like normally Tony's like the guy that's like everywhere doing this. Alex drew the short straw.
Marvez actually got interviews. Tony doesn't.
I know. Everybody picks on Tony. Everybody's scared of Marvez.
I love this because it's like Christian Cage isn't a cage. All we need now is Brian Cage in the cage.
Yeah.
It's just so random. Like, I really hope they did that for that joke and they just didn't like genuinely like see it.
I got it. Totally got it.
It's just genuinely a feud that's lasted 20 years now. Is that what we're actually at?
Yeah. It is.
Is this the longest feud in wrestling?
Yeah, they keep harping on the history, well documented history, they're talking about,
Yeah.
WWE stuff.
I just feel like they've gone, well, we've been in every company together, let's just roll with that.
Keep it going.
I generally if this is a match going to be a match between them, I'm slightly about it because I've seen them wrestle when they were at the prime. So, and one of them is more at the prime than the other as well. So,
I could see both of them being for this feud because they probably have fun together. They'd probably enjoy working together.
Yeah, 100%.
So you hope that leads to creativity and having that fun coming through.
Yeah.
Putting something good together.
That's what I'm hoping. But on paper, it's just like...
it hasn't gotten there for me yet. It just, the fun hasn't gotten there yet. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you wonder if this feud keeps going, like if they revisit it down the, like if it has a blow off right now, but then they come back to it again down the road, is it going to lead eventually to like a retirement match?
Yeah.
Where the one that loses is done. Is this where not now? I think it's obviously too soon for that. But I mean, I can see that down the road. Like
bye.
Yeah. Yeah. But where one of them decides to, hey, we're going to take a backstage role and not wrestle anymore for good. So that would be how they would end it. So I don't know. I would personally, if they did something like that, I would personally like to see a younger guy be the one that retires them to put somebody over instead of the older guy beating the older guy and retiring him. But either way, that crossed my mind.
What would be good is like Private Party to put both of them away.
Oh,
the young tag team putting away
be the
the old tag team stars.
Yeah. But we got you. You know you want to keep Matt Hardy around for a little bit longer until Jeff's able to come over, right?
I so hope we get that. Like,
yeah,
I really do.
I know.
Like, I would just be like, I'm 13 again. I'll have to go dig out my old Hardy merch and everything. I think it's in my mum's attic. I got the hat.
So you dig into the attic.
I got the hat again.
Next, we saw the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and the debuting Brock Anderson take on the factory. Take on the Factory's QT Marshall and Aaron Solo, and this was like a true back and forth affair, with a lot of the attention being on the heat between Cody and QT, while also showcasing Solo and the young Brock Anderson. And it was Brock who ended the match, getting the pinfall win as QT and Cody were fighting on the outside on the ramp. Solo tried to hit his finisher, but Brock countered with a flip over roll up pin to get the 1-2-3. So Brock Anderson, in his debut, gets the pin and the win. Afterwards, Arn Anderson embraced his son. Everybody was happy, right? So what did you think of this match, and particularly Brock Anderson's debut?
Okay, the first thing I have an issue with, and it's probably the only thing I have an issue with as well, is the fact this was his debut. And
it was.
Cody pandered to the crowd a bit too much for a guy's debut. Just my thought on that bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Cody, and like this is what he does. But I was just like, you know, you should be kind of like building him up a bit.
Yeah.
Instead of just like being in your own little Cody world. But apart from that, like it just scares me how much he looks like Arn. Genuinely. I was just like, it basically, I wasn't alive when Arn first was wrestling, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that's what he looked like.
Pretty close.
I can imagine that's like what he looked like. So it was like, generally, it was a good debut match. Like, you know, great. It's just like, why was it in front of a live crowd?
Yeah. I'll tell you something that interesting that you brought up. You were talking about Cody really working the crowd while it's his debut and kind of taking the spotlight away from him a little bit. You know, I mentioned that I wondered if Brock would turn on Cody. You think that's a little would you think that might be part of the plan? And that's, again, you know, why did the Factory turn on Cody? Because it's all about Cody, right? So in Brock's debut, Cody's still putting the spotlight on himself instead of on Brock. And when the match was over, Cody stepped away, right, with Arn and him embracing in the ring. I think Cody was up on the ramp at that point instead of in there, I guess, hugging it out with Brock too, which could have been looked at as he's giving the father and son their moment without him in the ring. Or could it be, you know, he's not, embracing him like that.
If that was the case and he was giving Arn and his son that moment, why didn't he do that at the beginning of the match? Like,
true. But what I'm saying is, like, him not being in there, like, celebrating with him, is that like, okay, look, I was making it all about me, and dude, he got the pinfall win. He got the win, not me. It could be viewed as like a little bit of a slight, like I'm not down there celebrating with him too. So I'm just wondering if these are like little pieces of a story that is going to lead to Brock turning with the Factory, because he sees what they're saying.
Yeah, it generally could, like, further down the line.
Because I didn't really think about the pandering to the crowd that Cody was doing until you just mentioned it. So that's what made me think about that.
I say the crowd, but you know what I mean.
Well, there were people crowded together.
There were people.
There were.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think now, because of the whole Double or Nothing thing, and I'm not going to go back through that again, but I just noticed these things with him now, and I just, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, what are you doing? Like, this guy's just like his first match.
I do. Yeah. I did enjoy this match, and I honestly,
I enjoyed the match, 100%.
and I enjoy Cody's work in the ring. I just want to point that
Yeah.
out. But I do, but every time I see him in the ring now, I do imagine you with a magnifying glass. I do, because when he's in the ring, I like Sarah right now is going, "Did you see that? Did you see?" I know. I know you're watching him like a hawk.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows I like Cody in the ring.
Yeah.
And I like Cody as a person. It's just his general character.
Yeah.
It's just stuff that just like pops in my head where I'm like, really?
Yeah. And I know where you're coming from. It's just funny that every time I see a Cody match, that's in my head now. It's like I feel like I put Sarah Vision on. I'm now looking at like, oh, she's gonna pick on that. She is gonna pick on that. I know she is.
I genuinely like for the next thing, like the next Cody thing, that whatever match he does, you should like list the things you think I'm gonna say, and then we'll see if you got it right.
That'll be fun, folks. Look forward to that. I will have a Sarah's checklist of things Cody should not have done. Sarah's list of Cody's.
Didn't like at AEW this day.
What's
annoyed her today?
Yep.
Kenny Omega using language that should be buried.
Knuckle sandwich. Okay. Then we saw the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, pacing back and forth in some abandoned building, while Jake Roberts tried to explain to us that sometimes you have to be patient. But Lance obviously has no patience. And Jake looked a little nervous as Lance paced and eventually stormed off. So there are also mentions of the forbidden door during this by Jake. Do you think that is an indication of the plans for Archer? Like a clash with someone from New Japan, maybe?
Possibly. But
So what do you think about
this? Right. One, I feel like Lance Archer needs like a room full of lavender just to like calm down and just like de-stress and have like a meditation tape on or some like tranquil music, some waterfalls, just like to relax, because he's generally gonna wear the ground down. He keeps pacing like that. Like, jeez, dude. The other thing that I just thought was like quite of like a noticeable thing is, like when you see like a kid with like a massive dog, like that is generally walking the child, not the child walking the dog, and it's huge. Oh yeah. Generally, that's like what Jake's like now with Archer. It's like trying to contain this thing he's zero control over, and he's just like, there he goes again. Just like,
that's a good analogy though, because when you see like a kid walking this huge dog, you realize that kid is not in control, because if that dog wants to take off, the dog's gone. And in this, Jake's not in control. Like Jake's not in control. If Lance decides he wants to blow up, then Jake's just gonna blow up with him.
Feel the repercussions.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna get hit with the shrapnel.
Like he's just generally like the monster part of his name is generally shown now. Like you cannot control him. It's like in Game of Thrones where you can't control the main dragon anymore. Like it's just gone. Like the horse has bolted. That's it. Like he's off on a tangent. But I don't know with the Forbidden Door thing if this means like Lance Archer's going to go away for a bit.
Yeah, you could read several things into it, because it did make a point to mention Forbidden Door a couple of times. Yeah, so it got me thinking. I'm sure. I'm sure there's a lot of talk about that on Twitter.
I just hope he's okay. I generally hope that Lance Archer isn't living in that abandoned building, because he's just like so annoyed that he's like Mrs. has kicked him out because he's like wearing the carpet or something. Like he's pacing that much.
Lance, go find an abandoned building somewhere. Walk around.
I live here now.
Work it off. So I just think I want to point out how I think it is hilarious that it seems like every time we talk about Lance and Jake, we go off. Well, you go off on this weird, like on our Q&A, you end up putting them into some romantic comedy, and now you have Lance in a room full of lavender doing, I don't know. I just picture him sitting there doing DDP yoga, with the music playing. It's just weird. Like there's something about Jake and Lance that just sends your mind into this weird place.
I generally think, do you know what I think it is? I think I see a lot of myself in the way Lance Archer's like generally frustrated. And like my mom is like Jake Roberts is acting like my mom. Like whenever I like a really stressful moment, she's going, "You just need to calm down. Why didn't you go spray some lavender?" And I'm like, that isn't going to help me right now. Like seriously. And she's like, "Oh, you're not sleeping well. Maybe you should put on like a relaxing tape at night and like
Look,
do some exercises like before you go to sleep to relax you." And I listen to these like sleep stories that help you relax at night, and then they're going, or I could just take a tablet and knock myself out. They're the options. But that's literally probably why I'm like so like vivid with this stuff, is because I'm just like, I am Lance, my mom is Jake. That is it.
Just if you start blacking out random people on the street, you might need to start listening to your mom.
Hey,
I've been
close so many times.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But it's just like seriously, like because like I love his theme song for one.
Yeah.
And he just seems like I'd get on with him because he just gets really mad, and then he tries to calm himself down, just by like going like that, and I'm just like, I know where you're coming from, mate. I literally get you. Between him and Mox and Eddie, they're my guys.
Killing me with this stuff. Killing me. Right.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Never know. Whether you want it or not, you're gonna get it. All right. Next. I mean that in a good way. Next, JR sat down with Andrade, and apparently he wants both the TNT title and the AEW World title because both are his next step. I mean, like, talk about goals. Like, what's your next goal? TNT title and the AEW World title. He just wants the gold.
I mean,
also,
aim high.
Yeah, I know. Just give me all of it. Just go for the tag title too, brother. Okay, so also and most interestingly, he and Vicky Guerrero have a surprise.
I wonder if it's a new tie for Tony Khan.
New tie for Tony Khan. So, yeah. Any guesses on the surprise?
I've seen this being talked about on Twitter.
I haven't, because I've avoided Twitter all day because I had to watch Dynamite later than normal. So I haven't been on Twitter all day. So what are some of the guesses? What's out there?
Zelina Vega. There's also another reason why people think it's her later on, but
okay.
I genuinely love the fact in this they let him talk. Like I was like, thank you, thank you for letting him talk, because like his English is brilliant. Why it was never allowed ever is just beyond me.
Yeah.
But I just love how it was like there's so many great wrestlers. It's like, yeah, there is. Welcome.
The Young Bucks.
Yeah. Well. So don't mention.
Notice he didn't mention going after the tag titles. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's scared, but he's like, why am I even worrying about finding a partner? Because the two greatest wrestlers in the company have those titles. But go ahead. Good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, you talk them boys up as much as you want. So yeah, so like this guy is just legit money. Like he is. Like I genuinely hope they do better with him than they did with Miro when he came in. It seems like they might be doing. Please.
Yeah.
But he literally could be like just so many options from wrestlers to wrestle. Like everybody, just put him with everybody.
Yeah. It's fantasy book.
There's no like one person that I was like, oh, I really need him. Just everybody, just smash through the lot of them. But yeah, I'm so excited for when he starts like actually wrestling, and I still love the fact that he's Ric Flair's son-in-law. It still makes me laugh.
I know.
I just think it's brilliant. Like,
yep.
Just like, look, you can do all this territory stuff and everything like that, but I just think it's great we're at this point in wrestling now where it's not kind of, it's either like, you know, you can't go with them because they're in a different company, and it's like it's like one of them open world video games.
Yeah,
It's like you can go anywhere.
Anywhere you want.
Anywhere you want.
It's a giant sandbox. Just go play. Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay, then we got Hangman Adam Page. We got his response to Team Taz's challenge as Alex Marvez was with him and Dark Order. And Page will indeed accept the match with Hobbs for next week, which we all assumed he would anyways. Then Marvez pointed out how important the Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega match was next week to Adam Page's ranking and his possible future shot at his former tag partner's world title. And Page dodged the question. Instead, pointed out that Silver's shoulder is getting better. 10 won the main event on Dynamite last week, and that Uno gave the performance of a lifetime against Miro. So it's obvious that Page is trying to hang on to these happy times with the Dark Order because he knows that pain and heartache could possibly be right around the corner. So unpack this segment for us some more.
It's like he's got PTSD.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think he doesn't want to remember the bad stuff.
Yep.
So if he just blocks it out, it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's
like I get that.
It's such a this whole storyline, and they're not again hitting us over the head with it. It's these subtle things like that. Just a couple of times, people have asked him about, "Hey, you're getting real close to getting a title shot." And he just, let's talk about something else.
But then again, maybe he still doesn't feel worthy enough to go for it.
Could be.
Because this is like the thing, like, I don't know if you have it over there in America, but sometimes it's like storylines in soaps like that are kind of like to do with real life topics. And they do like research with it and like research with charities to do with it and stuff like that. Yeah. This is like literally like something that could be like that, like, you know, kind of like highlighting the fact that mental health problems can be like invisible, but someone's suffering in silence type thing.
That's a good point.
I just genuinely think how you can say whatever you want about AEW, but how they've crafted this entire storyline from the moment he joined up with Kenny to the moment like now is just amazing. It's like a movie that is just done in really small parts. And if you put them all together, it's just, I'm like, this is wrestling, but it feels so much more than that with like Hangman. It's ridiculous.
And we feel very confident that we know where it's going. And
put it this way, if it doesn't go the way we think, I generally think everyone will just abandon AEW. When you're watching a movie, like, I'm just going to pick a random movie out, Wonder Woman. So if you're watching that movie, like the new one, you know she's going to be okay. Like, you know, she may have like close calls of being, you know, seriously hurt, but it's a Wonder Woman movie. So you know by the end it will work out. But it's not about the destination. This is what I keep saying about wrestling. It's about the journey because of the depth of stuff. So like I knew Jon Moxley was going to win the title because that's how the story's laid out. Now, that's because we know wrestling. So we've watched it loads of times. We've seen it when we were younger. We understand it. But when you're a kid and you don't understand it, that's still exciting. But the best bit about being an adult, knowing that what is meant to happen at the end, you can still enjoy that journey because the twists and turns in it are ridiculous. Like, how many twists and turns have been in the Hangman story? Just itself. And like, you can look at what's happened in the book story to get the tag titles and to keep the tag titles, and what's happened with Kenny Omega. And you can just look at all these individual storylines, and the story is what's the middle bit from start to finish. That middle bit is the story. That's the bit that is exciting. The destination, you'll be ecstatic when it happens because it's a relief. It's finally happened, you know.
Yeah,
that's
we can celebrate.
excitement. But the excitement of building stuff up, like even this Taz thing, like I'm excited for this build because, like, someone's leaving. We know that.
Yeah.
But who, how, why, when,
and when? Yep.
These are like the exciting questions we've got, and that's where you can fantasy book and imagine different scenarios that keep me awake at night. So I'm like, oh my god, what do we do with that?
And you think of how challenging it must be to have a story that's as long as that, and and where everybody knows where it's going, but you got to keep it interesting for that long and not overdo it. It's got to be a pretty big challenge from a booking standpoint, and just a general storytelling on TV standpoint. So next we saw Penelope Ford take on Julia Hart of the Varsity Blondes. And I thought this was a solid match for what it was. There wasn't much story at all built up to this. I was glad to see Penelope in action again.
Yeah.
And from what little I've seen from Julia Hart, I thought she looked pretty good. In the end, though, we saw a vicious side of Penelope as she caught Hart in an Indian deathlock, forcing Hart to tap out, and she refused to release it. Finally, though, after Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. climbed in, she let go. Then out came TNT champion Miro to seemingly to quote-unquote save Penelope, although the Varsity Blondes weren't actually attacking her or anything. He came in and attacked the Blondes, specifically targeting Pillman, and the refs had to pull him apart while Penelope watched from the tunnel. So what did you think about this? Specifically, the whole the thing between Miro and Penelope there.
You see, this is really interesting because I got 3 things out of this.
Okay.
Actually, technically 4. The first one was the match was brilliant. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah.
So the first thing is this them starting to build up a bit of a storyline with 2 women that isn't the women's title picture? Because just of how vicious Penelope was with that could start a feud.
Yeah.
Okay. That could genuinely like start something, which will be really interesting. Yeah.
I like that vicious side of Penelope, by the way. That
100%,
that was great.
100%. Yeah. But it seems like because we're building up for live shows, crowds back, traveling, if they're going to start doing women's storylines and building them up now, a few weeks before they hit the road again, they could be like in front of a crowd. We could get that. Second thing is, are we getting like Brian Pillman Jr. versus Miro for a TNT title shot at some point?
Hey, I think so.
Like, for like maybe a live crowd situation.
I got some match announcements coming up.
And also, the other one, which I don't know if I'm reading way too much into this, because let's face it, that's not what my brain does. That's what it does.
We've seen that with Jake and Lance, but continue.
Yeah. The thing with Miro and Penelope is obviously Penelope is Kip Sabian's missus.
Yes, that is true.
Miro basically has kind of, injured Kip really bad that he's needed surgery, legit real life.
Yes.
And that's why he's not there. So I don't know, like this. This is like where I don't know how to word this in a way that will make everybody go, yeah, I see what you say. But
we're waiting.
Could Miro, in a way, hold Penelope hostage in some sort of way, as in, I'll back you up type thing, but just in a way to wait for Kip to come back and then have a blow-off match with Kip.
So, yeah, that's a good idea. I think they're definitely at least hinting at the fact that Miro is going to be with Penelope going forward. And it will be interesting to see Penelope's reaction to that. Whether she wants him coming out.
Like, what is going on?
But she kept watching. That's why I mentioned her on the ramp, because I kept looking back there, and she was standing on the ramp just kind of watching him beat the crap out of the Varsity Blondes.
But I don't know if that was her watching as in, like, what is he doing? Or watching him as in, like, scared, like, oh my God.
Yeah. Here's the thing, too, and it might play into it. Penelope was really vicious there at the end of that match. Kind of reminded you of Miro a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, when Miro locks in the game over, man, he doesn't let go of that thing. And he just holds on. I was like, that could be a little, if she rides with Miro while Sabian's gone, and he brings out even more of a vicious side. Like, maybe it's not like she doesn't want him around initially, but then the more it starts building, she becomes more vicious, kind of feeding off of his energy, I guess you'd say. Not as a couple, but she just her character starts really coming out and becoming more vicious. To where
and then
Kip comes back.
When Kip comes back, that this entire situation.
Because this monster is being created in her that Kip can't control. Like, I mean, not to control, but like
like
what's happened?
He doesn't like what's happened, type thing.
What's happened in my life?
Like, I was gone for like a few months, and like, what the heck? This guy hurt me really badly, and you're like hanging out with him.
And you've become this vicious monster that that could be And the way you put it, her kind of being held hostage, you could play that to where it is that initially, but it I guess you could say somewhat brainwashed in a way.
Yeah, that's like what I'm saying, like the hostage type thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a bit of like maybe Stockholm syndrome. Like, not saying that's what it is, but like kind of that way of where she kind of like takes on his traits.
Suddenly, Kip becomes a sympathetic baby face when he comes back.
Yeah, exactly.
The more we've talked about it, I'm even more interested in this story than I was even when I watched it. Now we've talked it out, so I'd like to see what happens.
Watch the space, people. Watch the space.
Yes. Next, Tony Schiavone was with AEW Women's Champion Britt Baker and Reba Rebel, but they were quickly interrupted by Vicky Guerrero, who thinks her client, Nyla Rose, deserves a shot at the women's title. And Vicky also said that Tony Khan has signed a match. It will be Britt and Reba Rebel versus Nyla Rose and herself, Vicky Guerrero. Britt and Reba thought that was hilarious. Especially Reba's laugh just gets me every time. So
I know, it's brilliant, isn't it? One, they may have listened to us and gone, yes, Tony Schiavone is Britt Baker's interviewer.
Exactly. Every time since then. Yep.
So This see, the thing is though, is I liked Vicky in this bit.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't so in your face. I think that's like for me as a person, as like a real living human, I can't stand people that are like crazy loud and kind of like in your face with everything. It's like, just back up a bit. Like,
turn it down a notch. Just
like,
dial it back.
Chill out. So I liked it like this, where she's a bit more kind of not calm, but kind of a bit more like a human being, just like normal. So I love this. And this is what I was saying before, like when Andrade said that they had a surprise. The theory going around Twitter that I've seen is Vicky Guerrero isn't going to wrestle. It's going to be the surprise.
Ooh. Now,
this isn't my theory. This isn't my theory. This is a theory I've seen. And I then thought, that's a good point.
Because, everything's going to be live going forward. So,
So
you
and if you want a crowd pop, You want a crowd pop.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Interesting. So we're thinking it may be Zelina Vega then.
this is the theory that is going around.
Not we're thinking. We,
No.
I say we as in the internet.
Yeah, as in the internet.
Because we're all part of the internet. Everybody is, right?
As in AEW Twitter is thinking it's Zelina Vega.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. That's I can understand why people would think that. It would make sense, and the fact that Andrade said there would be a surprise, him and Vicky together would have a surprise. Vicky's in this match. All those dots connect, and those dots could create a picture of Zelina Vega.
Watch it now. It's not her. It's just
no.
Vicky.
We've talked about it for like 15 minutes, and it's not going to be her. It's just going to be Vicky wrestling.
It's just going to be Vicky wrestling.
Yay!
Go Vicky! Go Vicky!
We thought it was going to be somebody else. Okay. Then we got a video package highlighting the rivalry between FCR and Proud and Powerful. This did such a great job of showing how much they have in common, because they do have a lot in common. But at the same time showing how different they are. What did you think about this? I loved it. I'll just say that before you start.
I'm going to love this.
I know you are. Yes.
Like, Proud and Powerful, Santana Ortiz are my tag team in this company.
Yes, they are. They are. I love them.
They're just, I don't know what it is. It's just, I just love them. And it's just like the way, like, they use words and, like, the comedy
they have use
in
words.
But they definitely use words. The comedy they have in it, they play straight comedy as well, which I like. Yeah. I'm British, so I love dry humor and sarcasm and stuff like that. Yeah. So generally, I love them. So whatever they'll be doing, yes, please, 100%.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I love how they in the same, I know I mentioned it when I first talked about it, but in the same promo or in the same package, told you how they're so much alike, but then again, made you realize why they want to fight. That some people could come from similar situations and you could like them both for those same reasons, but they're also going to give you a reason not to like them and to like this other. Yeah. So I love that. And also, the details.
I just love Santana and Ortiz as these don't give a whatever baby faces.
Yeah. It's believable too.
I've noticed for the people that I like, they're all like those kind of like I don't give a whatever kind of attitude baby faces. I've just noticed I have a theme going through me.
I don't know why.
I don't know why. See, I am a nice person. I am a good guy.
Yeah.
Honest.
Decide for yourself, people. I'm going to use one of her lines right there. You make your own mind up. Decide for yourself. Okay.
That's another poll.
Yeah. Don't put that kind of poll out there. All right. Then we saw, which I love what they're calling him now, Smart Mark Sterling and Jade announcing a partnership with the Toronto Four Seasons. And they're looking for other partnerships using their promo code, that B word. Yep. Yep. So what do you think about your girl in this promo?
She's just so good. Just get her in a match again.
Yep. I do like that they're not overdoing it with her matches.
Yeah,
you get them sparingly.
I get that, but I need her in the ring again. I just love watching her matches, and I can't wait for that live crowd pop for her.
Yeah.
Or like the loud crowd boo or whatever it is, because she will feed off that.
Yeah.
So much, and I don't care if she's meant to be heel. I love her. Genuinely do.
And the little detail in this promo too I like was that Mark Sterling said, we're looking for any other deals out there, and she's like, no, not just any deals, like deals that I approve. So again, it's still hammer home that we've talked about before, that she is the dominant one there, that he's doing what she says do. So still established the fact that she's in control.
100%.
Yeah. All right. And in the main event, we got Frankie Kazarian, Eddie Kingston, and Penta versus Matt Jackson and the Good Brothers. And this was an excellent main event. Everyone looked great in it, but Frankie Kazarian really stood out to me in this one. He has like a new intensity about him in the ring.
Yeah.
But ultimately it didn't matter because it was the cold spray from Nick Jackson. Let's just be honest. It was a cold spray from Nick Jackson.
Are you actually admitting that they cheated?
What? Cheated is
the right word.
No, it's a word. It's a word.
It's a word.
It's a word.
Have you heard yourself?
It's a word. It's a word.
It's a word that means cheat.
It's a word. People use words for different things. But anyways, yes, it was Nick Jackson's cold spray to help decide this match. Nick came out of the crowd and sprayed Penta's eyes, allowing my boy Carl Anderson to hit a super cutter for the win. So the show goes off the air with the Elite celebrating with more cold spray on the ramp. What did you think about this match, man?
If anybody hasn't listened to our other podcasts or anything, Carl Anderson liked one of Woody's tweets, so he's now best friends with him. And my
boy Carl Anderson. And yeah,
I got liked by 5 from Dark Order, so I'm now best friends with the Dark Order.
I'm sorry, I did not mention that. Yes, she is now, as we're referring to it, an honorary member of the Dark Order. They haven't officially announced it, and they haven't officially announced that I'm an honorary member of the Elite. We just assume that's
they're just a bit busy at the moment. They just got stuff going on.
They're busy. We're not going to ask them. Nobody asked or anything.
They're just trying to make the best graphic possible for us.
That's what it is. It may take a long time.
A real long time. Because we're very picky about these things.
We are. We are. But I expect the first draft soon, then.
Slick will verify this.
Takes a while.
He will verify that
Yeah.
Woody's not that picky. I am. I will legit take that. Oh dear. But I'm looking on the results page of AEW now, right? Mm-hmm. And this match is actually listed as a trios match.
Yeah.
Those trio titles are around. Those trio titles are around. They're gonna come out.
It's coming.
This match was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I also love, I can't remember who said it, whether it was Excalibur or Tony Giovanni, but they went, who did we annoy because Don Callis is walking over here? What did we do?
What did we do wrong?
I was just like, I love it when they're like seriously, Tony Schiavone is just generally burying MJF and burying Don Callis every chance he gets.
Yes.
And I am for that, 100%.
It feels like he's the voice of the majority.
He's the voice of the people. Like,
yeah.
And I love that in like, the commentary thing for AEW. Like, they can legit just say their feelings.
Yes. That's, and we were asked about that on the Q&A about things, what we like. That's another point. The commentary team, I had to get on a tangent. The commentary team there's freedom there with them too.
Yeah.
It does really help. Really helps
and
the product.
Also, it helps you watch it because you can literally be thinking in your own head, God, MJF, Jesus, he's like, whatever. And then Tony Schiavone would say it and you'd be like, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He agrees with me, like, type thing. So, it's brilliant. Back to the match. Yes. Seriously, I love, surprisingly, Eddie Kingston and Mox together. Like, dream team.
You do. Wild thing.
Eddie Kingston and Kazarian with Penta. Yeah. Oh, it is a brilliant, like, other version. They work so well together.
Yeah.
Like, I just genuinely love this. And, like, some of the stuff they got through, like, it's just brilliant. I can't believe how good of, like, a main event was this. Like, the fact that, obviously, like, like the Young Bucks have worked with, you know, the Good Brothers before, and obviously Eddie Kingston's worked with Penta before, but Kazarian just slotted into that whole thing seamlessly. Like, you'd have thought like this is what he's done. He's never been with a tag team before in his life because of the way he wrestled as like kind of as a single person, but with two other people.
Yeah.
I just generally like whatever he's going for now. I'm so happy for him because it is literally working.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he was definitely a standout in this.
Yeah.
You know, I talked about that before. You know, everybody was great, but yeah, Frankie really just felt like not a new start, but like you look at him differently than you did before now. So
100%. He's got such an edge to him now. He's got like such like bit of like a chip or something on his shoulder. Like he's generally just like, I don't know. It's just so good. But it's also
he's got a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like I definitely say he's like, you know, the MVP of like the entire show this week. Because like out of everything, I remember obviously like, the Darby Allin stuff, but out of everything, like just seeing Kazarian work like that is just like stand out.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Go Kazarian.
Good show. Yeah, this was a solid show. A solid one. Yeah, this was the last tape one. We're going to be back to all live starting next week. Fingers crossed. Everything stays good,
everything
and we
crossed.
Can just everything crossed.
Let's get those storylines ramping up, people.
It's about to be turned up to 11. Pretty awesome. If you know, as fun as things have been during the pandemic, I say fun, wrestling wise. I mean, who's really had fun during the pandemic? But wrestling but AEW has still remained fun. It has been that escape that I think a lot of us, if you're listening to this podcast, that I'm sure you've enjoyed it as well. I know we both have. It's been that escape for 2 hours. You know, we get to watch that, and they've done a great job in tough times entertaining us, and it couldn't have been easy. Absolutely could not have been. No. So,
and like for me, like sometimes, like even like the worst days, because I basically spent a year locked inside my house.
Yeah, and that was
like,
worse for you than it was for
anybody.
Me. Yeah,
but this literally was like probably one of the things I had to look forward to every week.
Yeah,
which sounds really depressing, but it was really depressing. Like the fact that I had nothing else going on. Like my husband was working away. I couldn't see like my family or my friends. It was just me and my dog. And like every Thursday morning, I was like, I get 2 hours of Dynamite. Like I just get to forget everything that's going on and just like chill out.
Yeah. So
with my lavender.
You listen to your mom a little bit.
Yeah.
So but as great as a job as we think they've done through this, the best possible job they could have done, I just imagine what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Think about how it was before this started, how fun that was. It's coming, folks. I mean, it's bubbling right now. It's about to explode.
I can't wait for like when they're back on the road and like it's a different place every week. And,
different fans.
And when the camera pans round to everybody in the seats. It's just simple things like that I have genuinely missed. Yeah,
and when they come back to Atlanta, you're going to see me in those seats again. I'm not missing it, man. I can't wait.
You'll have to take a sign going, from in the beard, I'm the beard.
I'm the beard. I'm not. It's been too long, man. It's been too long.
And when it gets to the UK, whenever that will be, I'll have I'm the beauty.
Oh, good stuff.
And then next to me, you see this ginger bearded bloke looking really annoyed on his phone because that'll be my husband. Hating life at that moment. Because I have dragged him along.
Oh, my wife's coming nowhere near it. I'll be the lonely bearded guy.
Woody will have the Hate Mark's Love Book shirt. It'd be great because Mark's probably walked right past you as well in his entrance and be like, and then you'll see Woody cower in his seat.
Piece of crap. I'll try to do the Bucks pose as he walks by. I have somebody. I'll pay somebody behind me just to throw money up. Okay.
And then when Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows walk out, you can go, "They're my bestie. I know them."
Boy! As Carl Anderson walks by me in the stairs, what?
That's my
Oh.
boy.
Oh.
Oh dear me. Yes.
Good
Anyway,
stuff. Good stuff.
thanks
Yeah.
everybody.
So yes, we are very excited for live events.
Yes, if you can tell.
But speaking of live events, the next two shows obviously are going to be live. The next one is going to be the Saturday Dynamite on June 26th. And the only two matches announced so far, and they're awesome matches, by the way, are Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs and Kenny Omega versus Jungle Boy for the world title. So those are two awesome matches to be on that card. But I don't believe they've announced anything else, unless I've missed it.
Not that I'm aware of.
But then they have three matches announced for the June 30th live edition of Dynamite. That will be back on Wednesday. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. It will be the last episode from Jacksonville also. After that show, it will be live, but they will hit the road, headed to Miami. So for the June 30th edition of Dynamite, we'll have Britt Baker and Reba Rebel versus Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. Possibly Vicky Guerrero. Who knows, according to the internet. And Miro versus Brian Pillman Jr. for the TNT title. And awesome match announced. MJF versus Sammy Guevara. Keep your eyes on that one. And I believe they said that was going to be in the main event for that show. So,
yeah,
yes, give me that all day. That's going to be an awesome. Yep, that is it. So yeah, a good Dynamite, and again, the great matches announced for the coming weeks. We got a lot of fun stuff right around the corner. So, but while we got you, don't forget to check out our Twitter. You can find the channel Twitter at BeautyXTheBeard. You can follow me at Let the Beard Play, and you can follow Sarah at Strange_Pixie.
You can.
All kinds of good. If you follow the channel's Twitter, that's where we'll post on a regular basis all of our shows when they come out. Any news related to the show. Eventually, once Rampage starts, we're going to post a schedule so you know exactly when things are going to come out. We just got to see how Rampage falls and how that review is going to go and all that jazz. So
yeah, because we've got to juggle 2 time zones.
yes, time zones, man, time zones. Always a challenge, but we'll keep it going. But we'll get that schedule out there. Follow our channel Twitter so you'll know what that schedule is going to be. Anywho, we hope you've enjoyed it. Y'all be good out there, be good to each other, and we will see you on the next one.